We are starting with activity 3 from the packet. It looks like this. We are going to test different parts of the circuit. Some of the parts we're going to test are the socket plate, which looks like this. It's blue, and I have two of them taped up to the board here. And we are also going to test the light bulb, which looks like this. Now, this light bulb is really small, so I'm going to show you another light bulb that's quite a bit bigger when we test different parts of that, so that we should be able to see. So what we're asking you to is identify like the clips A and B, and I have them marked on here. This is clip A, this top part. Clip B is right down here. Then the plate is the bottom part of this A, and then the plate for this one is B is right there on the bottom part. So we are going to have, I'm going to stop the video, and or you can pause it, and I'd like you to check your predictions on if it will light up this bulb over here. This is my test bulb. We're going to check to see if that is lighting up. So stop the video and make your predictions for those different parts. Okay, so now we're going to do the observations. I am going to touch the two different parts of the socket, or at first, what it says to touch the socket parts, and you're going to see, does this bulb light up? Okay, and so that should tell you if it lights up, it's a closed loop. If it doesn't, it's an open loop. So the first one says, touch clip A and clip B. So I'm going to touch those two, record. Is it a closed loop? If it's closed, it should light up. The next one says, clip A, plate A. I'm going to touch plate A right here. The next one says, plate A and plate B. The next one says, clip A and the base, or plate A and the base. So the base is the blue. So I'm just going to touch the blue anywhere on the blue, and plate A. And the next one says, clip A and the base. So that's all the testing on the socket part. Now, on the next part, they're asking us to do the light bulb. So I'm going to use this larger light bulb to do the hooking it into the circuit. So we're checking to see, does this bulb light up as a closed circuit? So here's my first one. It looks like I'm touching my two wires together. Yes, it did light up, right? Because that's a closed circuit. So it did. So on this one, it says they want me to touch the tip of the bulb. The tip of the bulb is this part right down here. So if I put these two things touching the tip of the bulb, whoops. The next one says the threaded part. So if I touch the threaded part, then they say the glass part, so that's the globe up here. If I touch glass. The black ring is on the bottom of the bulb. It's, if you can see that on there, it's just this black ring that runs around here. So I'm going to touch the black ring on the other side of the black ring. Then it says the tip to the first support wire. Now, inside this bulb, there's wires, and I have taken another bulb and I have broken that glass part off so that I can get to the support wires. So if you look on the diagram in your packet, it shows you the bulb, and it shows you the filament, and it shows you the threaded section and the support wires. Well, right here, this is a support wire, and this is a support wire. This little wire up here, it's a coil. It's really hard to see because it's very fine. It's the filament. So I broke off the glass part of this bulb. It's a bigger one yet than what I had here so that I can get in here and touch these wires. So they want me to touch the tip to the first support wire. So I'm going to say this is my first support wire. I'm going to clip onto there, and then the tip is down here. Does it light up? Okay. Then the next one is the tip to the second support wire. So I'm going to clip on the other side, the second support wire. Then the next one says the threaded to the first support wire. So here's the threaded, and here's the first support wire. The threaded part is this part where it screws into the socket. And then the next one is the second support wire to the threaded. So let's look at that again. The first support wire to the tip was a closed circuit, the bulb lit, but the first support wire to the threaded did not. That was an open circuit. And then if we check that second support wire to the tip, it did not light up, but when I put it to the threaded part, it did light up. So that's telling us something about how these wires that are the support wires go down into the bulb, how they're connected. So I'm going to stop that for right now. We're going to continue with this part right here with the conclusion for this. I'm not going to write on the paper. I'm going to write on my whiteboard here, but you should be able to get the information in that part. I'm going to write a little bit larger so that you can see this easily. So it looks like we want to talk about what are conductors and what are insulators on this socket in the bulb. Okay, so it looks to me like the conductors are the clips, and that would be both A and B, and the plates, A and B. They were both made out of metal, and so those are both conductors. A couple other things that were conductors: the threaded section on the bulb, and the tip on the bulb were also conductors. Insulators included these. Okay, so some parts that were insulators. The base. Remember, the base is this blue part on here. So that's the base, that is an insulator. The glass on the bulb, that was also an insulator. And the black ring at the base of the bulb. That was also an insulator. So our conclusions for this are going to be two. The first one is the continuous conducting path. We have to have a continuous conducting path in order for the light bulb to light. So I'm going to go a continuous sometimes I like to abbreviate this, call this a CCP, is required to allow the bulb to light. So in other words, I have to have a continuous conducting path, and it has to be made out of conductors. So that's what the conducting is. It has to be made out of conductors. Now, the other one is we call a circuit. So in other words, a circuit is a continuous conducting path, including a set of batteries. Or we could say a power supply. That's what batteries could also be called. Okay, so I just want to talk about that light bulb lighting. That path, remember when I touched the support wires, so I'm going to draw, here's a support wire in here. I'm going to draw them in different color. They came up the bulb like this, and then there's one that's coming up here. Now, in the bulb, there's this really tiny wire that's coiled, and this was called the filament. And when this filament gets hot, it glows, and when it glows, that's when it gives off light. Okay, so when electricity happens, it produces heat, and then this glows really easily, and it produces light. And so these are the support wires. So they hold up that filament. Now, remember when I touched this and I touched the tip, the bulb lit up, but then when I touched this first one and I touched the threaded part, it didn't light up. So that means that this first one must be connected down here to the tip of the bulb, okay? And then when I came over to the second one, I touched this one to the tip and it didn't light up, but when I touched this one to the threaded part, it did light up. So this one must be connected to the threaded part. So that's how a bulb, and these are incandescent bulbs, are wired. They're wired so that one of the support wires has to touch on the bottom and the other support wire touches on the threaded part. So that means in order to make this bulb light up, you have to have the threaded section and the tip in this continuous conducting path. If you don't have both of those within the continuous conducting path, the bulb will not light up.